I wanted to come and have a real girl talk with y'all today about how, just as women, right? I think we get to an age or a place in our life where we have to really grieve the life that we thought that we would have by a certain time, right? I feel like most women, they have this vision for their lives. Like, they want to be married by a certain age. We want to have kids by a certain age. We want to have the house, the cars, the husband, all these things by a certain time in our life. And when that doesn't happen, we feel like we've done something wrong, like we failed, like we can't be happy about our life because it hasn't gone the way that we wanted it to go, right? Me, for example, I wanted to be married by 30, have 3 kids, have the big house, all the things, right? Just be a successful person, me and my husband, my kids. But I am a 36-year-old divorced woman with 1 child, right? Had a career, but God asked me to leave that, right? So I felt like I was 34 years old, and I had gotten to this place where I felt like I was starting all the way over in my life. And I didn't want to accept that, right? Because I wanted my life to be a certain way. So this year when I turned 36, I think it hit me because I had all these goals that I wanted to reach for myself before I turned 35. And being that I had turned 36 and those things just weren't realistic for me, I found myself in a place where I had to grieve that life that I felt that I would have by this age. And I think that's very real for a lot of women. And we need to know that if your life has not gone the way that you envisioned it, then it's okay, right? We need to be happy and content with the life that God has given us, right? And the life that God has seen fit for us to have. And that's not to say that if you're a person who's wanted to be married by a certain age, you'll never get married or you'll never have kids. It just didn't go the way that you had envisioned for yourself. But we have to get to a place where we know that God's plan is better than anything we can ever conjure up for ourselves. God's plan is a perfect plan, right? And there's a reason why God has delayed you getting married. There's a reason why God has delayed you having kids. But God only knows that reason, right? Because God sees way past what our eyes can see, right? God knows all. God's plan for our lives is perfect. And we have to get to a place where we can just trust him with that, right? We can just trust that God's plan is better. And if it's meant for you to have kids, you'll have kids. If it's meant for you to get married, you will get married. But you have to be able to wait on God's plan, because I think a lot of times, at least speaking for myself, I got ahead of God. I went and got married because I was in such a hurry to be married by a certain age. And it was not a part of God's plan at that time. And I have to accept the fact that I got ahead of God, the fact that I tried to manufacture pretty much my life to be a certain way, because it's almost like I felt like I wasn't worthy unless my life went exactly the way that I planned it out, right? But through God's love, I've learned that I am just as worthy the way that my life is right now. Everything will come in due time. God will add everything, every person to me when it's time to be added to me, when I need it, when I'm ready. And like I said, I think we put our worthiness, especially as women, in titles. Like, we want to be a mom, we want to be a wife, we want to be the businesswoman, all these things. But we need to learn to be content with who God created us to be in whatever season that we're in, right? We got to stop rushing to get ahead of God, or rushing to be in a place that we may not necessarily be ready for, right? We got to learn to let God in, take our hands off the steering wheel, and know that God is in control and he knows better than we know. So I just wanted to have a little bit of girl talk, because I know that is something that a lot of us women struggle with, you know, not being in that place that we envisioned by a certain time. But I just want you to know that you're not alone, and I see you. God sees you. He knows everything that you need when you need it, and all you have to do is seek him first, and he'll add everything to you in due time.